never seen pastors and priests and so-called men of God, doing this out on the street. But the Bible bids us that we come out here and do this, right? That's why we come out here, and everything we saying, brother, is according to the Bible. It's not according to how we feel or what we learn from somebody else. It's according to what the Scripture, the Word of God says. There.
Come. Giving thanks to God and the Father by Him.
So everything we do, we give thanks to God through His Son, Yahawah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? So before we get into the dietary law, I just want to make something clear. Do you know what the 12 tribes of Israel are?
If I look on the paper, yeah, but off my head, no.
But you know that they were the 12 sons of Jacob, right? No? Okay. So let's get Genesis 49 and 1, right? Because according to the Bible, you heard of Abraham? Abraham had a son. His son was Isaac. Well, he had many sons, but the chosen lineage was his son Isaac, and then Isaac had another son. His son was Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, which you see named over here, right? And those 12 sons formed the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You heard about the Israelites?
So what?
You heard about the Israelites?
Yeah.
In the Bible, well, the Israelites are formed by these 12 tribes. They had many kids. They had families, they had children, their children had children, and they formed the Israelites. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Henceforth, Israelites, right? Read that.
Brother Javon, come on up here. I'll give you a depth, because we appreciate you for spending some time with us. Before we kind of continue, I want to understand what you know about the Bible, what you've heard about Israelites, as well as even us up here. We want to have that dialogue, that back and forth. I see you got a cross. So I understand there's some aspect of you that believes in God. It's like, where do you stand at so far?
I mean, I was born into it, so that's for the most part. But to be confident in my knowledge, I'd say little to none. So, I mean, you probably have to talk to me like I don't even know what it is.
Okay. Yeah. It's all good. Hey, let's give the brother a round of applause, because the thing, a beautiful thing is humility. The only way that we understand and can learn is, we put out, I don't necessarily know something. Like, if I'm bad at math, I can be honest and say, okay, I don't know math, but then that's where it starts. Okay, I'm going to grow from step one, for let's say algebra, or what is it, PEMDAS, all the way to algebra, to calculus, and then trigonometry. So, starting at the beginning, if you got any questions, let us know. This is a family affair. We're here for so far. Everyone that you see on this side, we're here for. We're just bringing out history. Because every time you look into the Bible, it's only talking about us, and it's just sharing the history that we've gone through. And in order to fix what has happened here, what's happened there, we got to go back into figuring out, where did we go wrong? And you said Genesis 49?
So Jacob had 12 sons. Those 12 sons formed the nation of Israel, and that's who we claim to be, is the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Go ahead and read that.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1.
Read up!
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
So that's essentially what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring together the so-called blacks, right? You're a so-called black, what they call it African American, right? My brother here, they would call him a so-called African American. Me, they would call me a so-called Dominican. My whole brother here, they would call him a so-called Jamaican, right? And so on and so forth. We get all these bywords and all these proverbs and bywords and all these names, but at the end of the day, we're all the same people. The only difference between me and you is where the boat just dropped off our ancestors, right? Right? Because we're the same people. Most of us came from the west coast of Africa, right? Our ancestors, right? So let me get Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Read out!
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
To all who?
Unto all Israel.
So Moses, you ever heard about Moses? He parted the Red Sea. So Moses is what you would nowadays call Haitian, right? And Moses is talking to who?
Unto all Israel.
Who's Moses talking to?
All Israel.
All Israel, right? So he's talking to the 12 tribes in Israel, to the so-called blacks, to the so-called Jamaicans, to the so-called Dominicans, the so-called Haitians. Let's get out 28 and verse 15. Right? Because the reason we identify as these 12 tribes, according to the Bible, is because the Bible talks about certain things that would happen to these people, about certain conditions that they would be in the last days. And that's why we, you know, when we came across this knowledge, we started reading the Bible, and we're like, wait a minute, this is talking about us. This happened to our people, to our ancestors, right? Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
Read out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes.
So it says, so if you guys, Moses is talking to the children of Israel, he's telling them, if you don't listen, if you don't hearken and do these law, statutes, and commandments that the Most High God brought before you, that what?
If, so like, command thee this day that all these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
All these who?
All these curses.
Go ahead.
Shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing, right? Yeah.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
Now, you from where? From Fort Pierce, right?
Born or like where I stay?
Like
right
generally, where were you born?
now? New York,
New York. Okay, what
Hey.
part of New York?
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay. So you've been in the hoods in Long Island, right? Who do you mostly see in poverty in New York?
Black.
As a nation, the blacks, right?
Yeah.
And then you come to Fort Pierce, you come to Florida, and who do you see mostly in poverty and going through it? So-called blacks, right?
Yeah.
And so-called Hispanics, right? So that's what the Bible is talking about right there. Read it again.
Come.
16.
Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So we're accursed people in the city, right? We're the ones going through it. Anywhere on the earth you go through, man, there's hoods in Alaska. There's hoods in the Dominican Republic where I'm at. And who's going through it? Not the Europeans that live there.
Right.
Not the Chinese people that live there.
Right.
It's us. It's so-called blacks and Hispanics that's going through the rough times. Read the second half of that, 16.
Come. And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Who was cursed in the cotton fields, in the corn fields, in the
Right.
sugar cane fields,
Right?
tobacco fields?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Black?
Black people, right?
Mhm.
And Hispanics, right? We were cursed as a people, man. So that's an identifying marker according to the scriptures. Drop
Right.
down to verse 36.
Come. Verse 36.
Out.
The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt.
Slack at 37.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
So these are identifying markers, right? An astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. An astonishment is like, you know, people, the other nations, they're astonished by what we do. They're astonished by our culture, you know? How we kill each other for a pair of sneakers.
Right.
How we kill each other for a cell phone, right? How we beef about the stupidest things, right? The other nations are astonished by it, right? They're astonished by how our people, they got their pants hanging below, you know, their waist and all that. That's an astonishment. That's like, wow, look at how these people live, right? That's an astonishment. A proverb is a wise saying. Like, if you want to hide something, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book.
Right.
That's a proverb. That's a wise saying. You know, these niggas love to eat chicken and
Watermelon.
Watermelon, you know? These are proverbs, right?
African American.
Yeah, African American, and a byword.
Right.
A byword is calling you out of your God-given name, right?
Right.
Because according to the Bible, you're a Judite, but what they call you black, they
Right.
call you Negro, they call you African American, and they call you all these names. These are names that God gave you, right?
Right.
But we've been eating this stuff up because that's what we don't know no better, right?
Right.
We just don't know no better, right? Keep going.
Come. It says, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment and a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So the Lord put us in this predicament. The Most High God, He's the one that put us into this condition, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's get verse 46.
Come.
I'm not gonna take up too much of your time. I know you got stuff to do, but man, this is really powerful information, right?
Come. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these things are gonna be upon you for a sign and a wonder. It's an identifying marker. How you know that McDonald's sells food and hamburgers? Because Because you see the big arches, right? The big yellow arches. That's how you know, oh, there goes McDonald's. They sell food over there, right? Just like Wingstop over there. How you know that's a Wingstop? Because it has an identified marker. It has a sign. So all these curses are identified markers. They're all signs for us to know in the last days who we are. Hold that and get Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. That's
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
So we lost our heritage according to the Bible, right? And why is it that we lost our heritage? Keep going.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
To serve who?
To serve thine enemies. In the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger.
So God put us in this condition because we kindled a fire in his heart, because we disobeyed his commandments. We strayed away from what he told us to do, like it says in Deuteronomy in the beginning. Yeah, the curses came upon us because we didn't hearken to God. We didn't listen to his law, statutes, and commandments, right? Go ahead, let's go back to Deuteronomy 28. Now, and something that you gotta analyze is like, okay, our people live in poverty, right? But if you turn on the TV right now, you can put on any program. Who's the best actors, right?
Right.
You look at Will Smith, Denzel Washington. You look at the sports nation, right? You look at anything to do with sports. Who dominates the sports, right? Who dominates basketball? Who dominates football? We're like 13% of the population, and we're 90% of the Final Four, right? LeBron James, Michael Jordan, like you name it, we dominate. You know what I mean? Any sport that our people get into, we dominate. Even baseball, the so-called Cubans and Dominicans run that. You're talking about football, soccer, the so-called Hispanics, they run that. So anywhere you look, our people running it, whether it be entertainment or acting or sports, our people dominate all that. So even though we're a downtrodden people, even though we're live in the ghettos and in poverty, we're still blessed, right? We're still the most dominant and the most blessed people in that aspect. Because why? Let's get Deuteronomy 76. I'm going to show you why, even though we're the poorest people on the earth and we live in the ghettos and we go through so much stuff, I'm going to show you why is it that we still have all these blessings upon us. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Read out.
For thou art an holy people.
So God says that he has a holy people. Keep going.
To the Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
So he has a special people and he has chosen us, right? Okay.
To be a special people.
To be a what?
To be a special people.
Yeah.
Unto himself.
So he's a chosen people, they're holy people, and they're a special people, right? Keep going.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all what?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Brother, that's why our people are the best at basketball, football, entertainment, you name it, man, we run that thing.
Right.
You look at, I don't know if you ever seen it on social media, all the inventions that we've created.
Oh, yeah.
Like the cotton gin, for example. Our people invent stuff even when they're going through strife, even when they're going through trouble. They put us in slavery, we invent the cotton gin to make our life better. They put us in slavery, and we're going through hard times, we're going through Jim Crow and whatnot, and we start inventing the blues, the greatest music. Practically every genre of music in America, we've invented that too.
Right.
Even rock and roll, we've invented all of that stuff. The refrigerator, the TV, the telephone, you name it, man, most likely our people invented that thing, right?
You know,
So even though we're going through such tough times, and we've been going through it for generations, we're still a blessed people because we're a chosen people by God above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? Like, let's go back to Deuteronomy, and we're gonna go to 28 and 60, and then we'll go into some
verse 68.
So this is what some brothers call the shotgun. This is one of the main identifier markers, because if you read Deuteronomy 28 all the way on down, it has 68 different things that we went through, 68 different curses that you could point at and be like, yo, that's my people. That's my people. That's my people. That's my people. You know? And this is the main one to where people gravitate into it and be like, yo, that's really us right there, right? Go ahead. Yeah, let's get 54 first, right?
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye shall be what?
Shall be evil toward his brother.
So we, in times past, we were a delicate people. We were caring and kind and lovable towards each other. You ever heard about Tulsa, Oklahoma? Tulsa, Oklahoma. You ever heard of it was
Black Wall Street.
The Black Wall Street is what they used to call it, nicknamed it. Well, it was a place in Oklahoma, right? To where our people gathered together. They had businesses, they had culture, they had pretty much a whole ecosystem of finance. To where it's like, for example, the Jewish man, their money doesn't leave their community. We had that in a sense, because our money used to go around and around. I would go to my brother and he would buy from me, and I would buy from my other brother, and our money used to circulate among us. And we used to be caring towards each other. Right. You know, if we needed help from each other, we would go to our people, we would help each other. That's not it anymore, right? You go in the wrong place, you see somebody step on another man's shoes, another brother, you know, so-called black man, and all of a sudden it's beef. You want to fight, right? They say something about you, or you hear something, and all of a sudden it's beef, right? That's what they call it in our neighborhood. That's why they call it black on black crime. The other nations, they have problems between each other, but there's no terminology to where you can say Asian on Asian crime, right? Or Irish on Irish crime, right? That doesn't exist. But whenever it's between us, it's called black on black crime because it's so prevalent, it's so common amongst our people, right?
It says, his eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom.
And it's very common for a black man or a Hispanic man to have beef or trouble with his woman, right? No matter what, for different reasons, you know, but it's very common amongst our people, right? Go ahead.
Like the domestic abuse?
Domestic abuse, domestic violence, right? Go ahead.
So like a quick statistic on that is like 70% of relationships within the black and brown community, it has to deal with domestic violence. So whether that's combat, like physical fighting, or the way that they speak to each other is demeaning to where the guy is now considering taking his life, or the woman is now she's putting the guy on child support. 70% of that happens in our community. That's right. So continuing to read, it says, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall leave.
Which he shall who?
Which he shall leave.
Who is very well known for leaving his children, for leaving the household, for leaving his family behind? As a nation.
Oh, my fault.
I'm asking you, bro.
Okay, the father.
The father. Yeah. But what kind of people? What gender of people? What race of people? Black people. Yeah. We're known for leaving our kids, for leaving our family behind, right? Whether it be because the woman is making it hard on us and she wants child support, so she'll kick us out, or whether it's domestic violence and we're beefing with her, or we can't find a job. And there's many reasons why, but we are known for leaving our family behind, right? Keep going.
Well, that's it.
Okay, let's go to 68 now.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
Okay, so it says the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt with ships. Now let's find out what Egypt is. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20. Because the Bible explains itself, right? I don't know if you've been to church before or these other churches, but they read a couple verses and then they explain to you what they think the Bible means. But you don't got to do that with the Bible. The Bible, you read it precept upon precept. Everything in the Bible that you see, it explains itself. You just got to look for it. It's like a puzzle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 2.
Bring it out.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt, right?
Out of the house of bondage.
Out of who?
Out of the house of bondage.
So out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt is synonymous with bondage, right? Go ahead.
Come. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord is going to bring us into Egypt or bondage again with ships.
Come.
Now, who went into slavery on ships? Black people, right? Go ahead.
Come, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Exactly. And we weren't going to go back to our homeland again. We weren't going to go even back to Egypt again. We never seen our homeland again as a people, right? We haven't been back there as a people. We don't even consider that that's our homeland. We don't even consider that we are the special people for God, right? Keep going.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
Shall be what?
You shall be sold unto your enemies.
Now, who was sold as slaves unto other people? Black people, right? Go ahead.
Come, for bondmen and bondwomen.
For slave men and for slave women, right?
And no man shall buy you.
So no man is going to be able to redeem you from this slavery. That stuff happened to us, and nobody got us out. You know, we were going, when we were in slavery, nobody came and said, you know what, we should get the black people out of slavery. What are we doing?
Right.
You know? Why are we doing this to these people? We need to redeem these people out of slavery. We need to take them out of this condition and bring them out of this condition that they're in and give them reparations, right? That never happened, right? Let me get Baruch 3 and 8. Because a lot of people think that, you know, we're not in slavery no more, right? We're free. That's what they say, right? But it's a difference now, right? And at first, I didn't understand what he meant. I'm like, I'm black. Like, what is this guy talking about? You know? But when I went to school, I sure found out, you know, really quick what that meant, you know? Because there's no difference between how the nations treat you, right? Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 10 and 12. I'm going to go back to the powerful point that the brother was making earlier, right? Because now that you know that you're from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and you're from the most important tribe that Jesus Christ was from, there are special things that are required of you, right? For example, if you got a job and you got a manager position, right? You got the top position as a manager, you getting paid the best, right? You don't just show up and sit down, right? No, there's requirements when you show up that you got to complete to fulfill that position, right? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read it out.
And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God?
To do what?
To fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord. To keep the commandments of the Lord.
Do you think that the Ruach HaKodesh will lose to the flesh? Dog, that is the least. This walk is something I would never regret. I'm shining on top, it look like police. The water is holy, my spirit connected. Something my neck, it feel like a fleece. Most of these demons be trying to steal joy. This is a check, but I'm moving my piece. We treat the world like it's watermelon. We got what you need, we spitting out seeds.